It's not often I get to do videos like this for Let's Talk Sport where coming from a fan's perspective rather than simply a neutral. But today is one of those days as a Forest fan watching Derby versus Nottingham Forest. And I can say that I was looking forward to doing this video for about for about 80 minutes or so. And it got near to the end of the game itself, and yeah, it just all fell apart as it has done over the years, being a Nottingham Forest fan. So yeah, let's get into it then. Let's grab the notes and talk about Derby versus Nottingham Forest, finishing 1-1. But for anyone that watched the game as a Forest fan, we should have won that by a clear goal margin, possibly even 2 or 3 come the end of it. It all started great. It started great after around about 12 minutes into the game itself. Joe Lolly, fantastic strike on the edge of the area into the bottom corner of the Derby County net to give Forest the 1-0 lead. And we ran riot from there, just chances after chances in that game. Defence was brilliant. Sat back, allowed them to come at them. Worrell and Figueiredo in the defence, with support from Sow, Yates, and Watson. Just sitting back and accepting the pressure when it comes, because then it allowed the likes of Ribeiro and Cash on the wings to push forward and help out in the attack. But it really didn't capitalise towards anything in the end. Da Costa, he had a brilliant first half. I was a bit gutted to see him go off for Amiobi, but once the rest of the game unfolded, it was a bit understandable. He almost fed through Cash as well just before half time. We could have been 2-0 up by half time, and it was we couldn't push themselves over the line. And into the second half, when the substitution happened around about 60-minute mark, I think it was, Sow and Da Costa going off for Silva and Amiobi, I was thinking, okay, we're actually going to go for a second here rather than pushing to defend. Or it was rather Yates and Watson were doing a good enough job with Worrell and Figueiredo to keep the Derby County attack from pushing forward to get a goal. And sure enough, that was the situation until later on into the game itself, but we'll come around to that. Lolly and Watson doing great, testing Derby from distance, and that was where we had most of our chances from distance. We had Thiago Silva later on in the game hitting the post. Lewis Grabban had about 3 or 4 different chances in the last 20 minutes or so of the game to add another into the Forest's goal, into the Forest tally, and just missed on both occasions. It was extremely disappointing because of what was to come later on. Another great counter-attack about 74th minute. Silva almost feeding it through for Grabban, who once again missed. I do question his consistency sometimes, despite him being Forest's top goal scorer. I do question his consistency as Forest leading man, and I do worry it might be catching up to us now in this playoff hunt. Just missed so many chances in the final third, and yeah, it came back to haunt us. Silva counter attack, great pass to Mighton when he came onto the pitch in the 92nd minute. Just couldn't find his foot in for a clean strike. Mighton, such a promising player, and he showed it in those couple of minutes that he was on. Just really couldn't find that clean finish though to give Forest a confirmed victory. Then they had a nasty challenge from Waghorn, deserving red card for that. Clear frustration by him. I don't think there was any malice in the challenge, but clear frustration by him. And I made a comment that I thought would be funny to look back on in the end of the game if we were to win this game. That Yates will be a bionic man by the end of the season over, because now he's got the mask and he had a nosebleed during the game and he had a collision there with Waghorn and he still managed to keep on going. Just thought he was brilliant today. But yeah, then Worrell. Like, what are you doing, Worrell? What are you doing? Figueiredo was behind you and he had clear distance between him and the Derby player for the ball, and he got the ball before you even made the challenge. Gave away a cheap free kick. Wayne Rooney, one of the best free kick takers that England has ever had, barring David Beckham most likely, and he made us pay. Great delivery into the penalty area. Defence was scrambling just to try and get it away. Matty Cash did his best, but fell over in the process. And then And then Derby just pushed it over the line, scramble, pushed it over to the line. Thiago Silva was trying to do his best to keep it out, but couldn't do enough. And the defence that was so strong throughout the entirety of the game gave away a cheap goal very late and gave away a cheap free kick very late. And I do worry that this is going to be the tale once more for Nottingham Forest. Just getting into the playoffs is a struggle for us when it shouldn't be. And how are we going to react when it comes to these playoff games when it's simply enough, either the attack is not there near the end of the game to secure the win, or it's a push for the defence to hold on because they've been battling really hard throughout the game. We've seen how great our defence has been this season. I think it's like the 4th best in the Championship. We just need to make sure that we're getting wins under the belt before it comes to like the 85th minute mark. So, yeah, Derby scored from a free kick, 1-1 draw. Disappointing result because arguably we should have had 2 or 3 goals in that game and we didn't have it. And now it's very much looking like at one point we were looking like we were going to challenge for top 2 very late into the season, but now I think we're going to have to concede for a playoff position and hope that we can hang on to those playoff positions too, because the rest of the pack behind us, they're looking relatively strong, and Derby is one of them. So yeah, it is a very much keeping the fingers crossed that we can hang on to this playoff position now, because no one is going to be letting up. No one is going to be letting up at all. And Forest need to keep on pushing. We showed qualities today that we can earn a playoff position and earn Premier League promotion, but it needs to be more consistent. So we need to be scoring more often. You know, we had the close win against Bristol during the week, hard fought win, and this was going to be a hard fought win against Derby as well, because we haven't been consistent enough in the attack. But we're coming away from a draw, and yeah, overall, Derby didn't deserve a draw from that game. They got extremely lucky because we simply didn't finish the chances that we had presented to us. We should have scored. We should have scored at least 3, but it ended up being a 1-1 draw, and hopefully it doesn't cost us in the long run when it comes to battling for that Premier League promotion.